All right, good evening. Good evening, you mystery shipper. Son of a gun. What is going on with this chair? I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Keep it together, Zoe. All right, here we are. Here we are. Knock those darn birds down a little bit. Special time, folks. We're starting a little early. That's because I have a guest who is joining me from the East Coast. And what I admire about this person already is they get up at the crack of dawn, much like me. Someone who wakes the roosters. So in order to allow me to do my normal show open, where I say hello to people and go around to the different hubs and make sure we're live where we're supposed to be live, I needed this extra minute. I reached out to my brothers over at Three Beer Men and asked them if they would mind if I stepped on their toes a little bit as they exited the freeway. It's a pleasure to have you aboard. Taking a quick peek around the horn. Pilled Foxhole. Yes, the home of free speech in America. Pilled.net. If you haven't heard of it, you need to sign up there. One of the few places in the world where you can call it like it is, baby. Nobody's going to shut you down over there. We love our people over at Pilled.net, where truth prevails. Great to see all of you fine people. We're going to say our hellos right after that raid comes in. Let me check over at Rumble. We are live at Rumble. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We've got 5 eyes over there. Good to have you aboard. Thank you, Rumblers. You are the rock upon which I will build my... No, that was the other guy with long hair. Never mind. He got nailed to a cross. Let's look over at YouTube. Gary Flessner, how you doing, my brother? Freaking good to see your smiling face. Thank you for being there. Over here to other side of the world, Al. Get your shit together. D-Live, my D-Livers. How we doing over there? Holy smokes, we got all kinds of them. Jayla17, bring in the love. TL Spud, donating ice creams. Dandy, 002, sharing the love. It's an ice cream party over there. Willie Fix It. Bad, Zoot, Elfida, all these wonderful people. Dandy 002, good to see you, my friend. Wow. Zoot, all of you. How the heck are you doing, Jayla? Oh, man, nice to see you all. This is going to be a great show, you guys. It's going to be a short and sweet, but get to the point. It's going to be awesome. So nice to see all of you. Peggy Dancer, how you doing, little lady? Good to see your smiling face. Good to see you. All right, back over. We will check in with YouTube in a little bit. Rumblers are more pouring in. Beautiful. Great to see it. Pilled.net. Oh, gosh, I forgot Twitch. Can't forget my Twitchers. Twitching that itch over there. All right, Twitchers. Matty F and B, how are you doing, my man? Dude, good to see you. How's everything over in Philly? Hope everything is groovy, my friend. I look that way like I'm looking at Philadelphia. Don't you love it? All right, over to Pilled.net, the home of free speech in America, and a wonderful group of sailors right there. Let's say our hellos to Willie Fix It, two-timing us at a couple different platforms. Cynthia, my friend in Boston, how are you, little lady? Good to have you aboard, motorcycle woman. Girl Patriot from down there in Texas. How's everything in your world? Trick Pony up there in Maine. Great to see you. Madness Comic Network. Three Beer Men. Thank you for the raid, boys. Thank you kindly for the raid. Spazzo Yeti coming to us from PA. Cosmic Grandpa, Western PA. Good to see you. Pennsylvania showing up in form. Here comes Idaho. Salty Nuts. What is going down, my man? Good to see you. My brother Chuck, a former Ohioan, now taking up residence in Michigan. Good to see you. Hope everything is groovy. Maddie's mom, how are you doing, darling? Good to have you aboard. Folks, you might have noticed that I didn't do my normal video entry tonight with all of the sailors wearing their mystery ship shirts. It's because I'm a little pressed on time. I have a guest joining me in about 5 minutes, which means I will have just enough time. Just enough time for one short little video, which I always do. I always do anyway. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. But first, I just want to give a little introduction to our guest. A couple of months ago, it was before Thanksgiving, one of our brothers, one of our truther brothers, Duppy, over there on pill.net, sent me a direct message. He goes, dude, you got to read this article. You got to read this freaking article. And it was written by this lady. And I found it so interesting. It equated Trump to being, it equated Trump to the band Rush. I'm keen on both. So I actually reached out to her, wrote her a letter, just said, hey, really enjoyed that. And I didn't know much about the entity that she wrote for, so did a little digging, ended up signing up. PJ Media. Have you heard of it? Well, you probably should. I mean, many of us don't, we're not watching the legacy media. And I know a lot of us like to read. Myself, as much as I do watch videos and stuff, I love to read. Reading is way more fun to me. I grew up with newspapers and magazines. Reading has always been books. My God, I was a voracious. My mom used to get pissed off at how many books I had her buy when I was a kid. But reading is, I just enjoy it. I get more out of it. I can reread a paragraph if something really sings to me, and that's what I liked about this lady's writing style. It just kind of, I don't know. It kind of struck home with me. I liked it. I liked it. So I reached out to her and said, hey, why don't you join me? She says, man, let's get through the holidays. I got a lot of stuff going on. So I believe she's going to be joining me. I sent her the link here just a few seconds ago before I started the show. And I hope she'll be popping up any old time, but we'll give some more background when she's actually here with us. Now, just so you're not let down, I'm not going to actually have her on screen doing video. There are still some people who enjoy their privacy, and I'm a huge advocate for privacy. So she won't be, I'm going to put up a picture. I'll put up the picture that she shares with her readers over at PJ Media. And we'll talk all about PJ Media and how she became a writer and that kind of thing, and her most recent articles and that kind of. It's going to be a good time. I will see you immediately following this video right here, folks. You're going to want to stick around. This is going to be fun, and a huge thank you to my boys over at Three Beer Men. Thank you for shutting her down early for me, guys. I do appreciate it. All right, we'll be back right after this little video. Here we go. Oh, look at that. He's done it again. Forgot to turn on the volume. There we go. Wonderful timing. Athena, can you hear me?
I sure can.
That is beautiful. Beautiful. I got you loud and clear, my friend. Whoop. Hang on.
Yep.
I am, you're going to learn that I am the least talented computer guy in the world. Let me go back over to here. Let me go back over to here. Now, I got to figure out how to do this because I know how to do this. You sent me a picture. You sent me a photo, and I'm going to put that on the screen. Let me present an image. Here we go. Image file. Good. Hey, hallelujah. I got it. Oh, let me kill the stupid. Sorry, I got the whales. I got the whales in the background still. All right, there we go.
Hey.
Bingo.
Now, are you hearing an echo? So I'm getting a terrible echo.
Are you getting a slight echo?
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix that. I can do that.
Is that you or me?
Echo cancellation. That should make things go a little better. Is that working for you?
That's it. You did it. You're perfect.
Doesn't happen very often, Jimmy. All right, let me make sure that I've got this all on the screen. Come on, Zoe, you can do this. Bingo. No, let's try that. All right, come on. Maybe that's it. There we go. That should do it.
Wow.
I'm hoping that that's what they're seeing. You know what? All I have to do is check. Yes. Okay, there it is. In a few seconds, people, you will actually. There we go. All right, it's working. It is working. Athena, welcome to the Mystery Ship. I greatly appreciate you being here.
It is very kind of you to have me and to rearrange your show to accommodate my pathetic going to bed early business here. But I think you.
Darling, my alarm goes off at 4:00 a.m. Pacific time. So,
oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, you're worse than me.
Yeah, there's no problem in hitting the pillow a little earlier for me. And 3 hours later, that means you get up and wake the roosters back there. Have you always been an early riser?
Nope. No, that happened later in life. You know, once you have kids, that ruins you for sleeping late forever. So.
Let's see if I can boost your vocals a little bit here and tune this in a little more. I have a few toys I can play with on my end. Once again, thank you for being here. Folks, let me give a little background to this lady. As I explained earlier, my buddy Duppy sent me an article by this nice lady. And I was so impressed by it, I actually reached out to her just to commend her on an interesting read. We kind of exchanged some emails and I don't know, got to talking about this and that. And I said, could you join me on my show? I mean, I find you to be interesting. I mean, I have to ask, were you born to be a writer? Did you fall into this? How did you come to be a writer for PJ Media?
It kind of started writing in general as a creative outlet. It's one of those things I kind of did my whole life. Just was raised that way. You paint, you play music, you write. You know, you also all of that was considered hobby though, and then you would have a real job in real life, you know, to earn a living and so forth. But the other things were passion projects always, and actually did music for years. I know you're a big old rock and roller yourself there, so.
Got a few axes behind me. Yeah.
Were you in a band, by the way? I don't know. What was your?
I played in a group called Dr. Slaughter back in the 80s. My drinking buddies were Metallica and.
Oh, you knew those guys? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, the 80s were one big haze of drinking with Motley Crue and my Lord. Yeah, the stories. God. I've told countless stories. I'll have to send you a link to some. One night I got to do rock and roll war stories. That's what I got to do. But
that'd be a great show. I'll be tuning in.
Honestly, I was just at the right place in the right time. In my 20s, I worked in Hollywood. I worked for a television show. I was playing in a heavy metal band, and via the you've heard of the show. It's not the same show it is today. It's still on the air 50 years later. Entertainment Tonight. Have you ever heard of
sure, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
So I mean, it started back in the 80s. It was vastly different than what it is now. But because of working there, every day I would walk in and look at the board, and there's a gold record party for the Pretenders. I'll go to that. We're gonna meet Jimmy Page and Paul Rogers from the Firm. I'll go to that. I mean, I got to go. I lived the life of 10 men. It was crazy. It's amazing I'm still here to tell about it. But so I mean, I knew when I look at my notes here, you know, did your friends and relatives tell you, hey, you've got a gift for writing, man? You should really, is that, it's, you said it's like a creative passion, but how did you fall into this gig? Because I love your articles. We're going to be looking at one or two of your articles before we're done here.
Thank you so much. Gosh. Let me see. I did art for years. I did graphic design and advertising layout, stuff like that. My creative outlet that I wasn't getting paid for was music. I was in bands. But eventually you marry and settle down, and once you have kids and you go to bed early, it's kind of hard to rock very hard at that point. And so I used to have a period of time in the evening after the kids were asleep and my husband would be working late a lot that I could write. And so I started writing long form fiction and tried to get some books published. And it turns out when you have a conservative worldview, you can't get an agent, you can't get a publishing house to be interested in your work.
Of course not.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that at first, but then you start to realize it more and more, and that started being an issue. I was not the only writer having that problem. So a lot of us banded together. I joined a couple of conservative writers groups online. I did write fiction for a while. I had a great time. I thought I got pretty good at it too, but I still had my day job. But I did work corporate during the day job, which, was a decent living, but it just, as you get older, you get really tired of the relentless left-wing viewpoint of everyone and everything. You're never going to advance too far because you just, you don't get it. You're not one of the clique. And so eventually I was like, I got to change careers. It was during COVID and I like my company was really starting to get into the DEI stuff. And I'm an Orthodox Christian too. I was just like, I can't say these things or mouth these things. And so I started looking around for a different job, and I had been writing and editing other people's stuff for a long time. And I had met some of the writers at PJ Media through my conservative writer groups. And I happened to know that they were looking for an editor and writers. And I took a chance and changed jobs. I did it during COVID and I haven't looked back. It was great.
It's fantastic. I want to share a little bit about PJ Media because honestly, I was fascinated. Rarely am I impressed with anything I read on Wikipedia. Okay, but they did PJ Media justice here. I'm going to read a little blurb of the history of PJ Media. PJ Media was founded as Pajamas Media in 2004 by Charles Johnson, the blogger behind Little Green Footballs, and screenwriter and producer Roger L. Simon, after Johnson's contribution to the Killian documents controversy investigation in 2004, in which he helped lead to the retraction, and I love this, the retraction of a 60-minute story critical of President George W. Bush's service in the Air National Guard and Dan Rather's resignation from CBS News. Johnson and Simon set out to challenge the mainstream media with a network of citizen journalists. The network was primarily made up of conservatives and libertarians. The network's original name was derived from a dismissive comment made by former CBS News executive Jonathan Klein during the 2004 Killian documents affair, in which he said, quote, "You couldn't have a starker contrast between the multiple layers of checks and balances in 60 minutes and a guy sitting in his living room in his pajamas." So I thought, what a, oh my God, that is all I need to know about PJ Media. I love them already. I did read a very interesting article. Do you know a guy by the name of Scott Pinsker?
Yeah, he works at PJ now. He writes
so he wrote a very interesting article over there at PJ Media. I'm going to throw this on the screen. Why not? Let me put this over here. Okay, because I want my people to see what PJ Media is. Folks, just like other, you have to seek out, as Athena alluded to. You have to seek out conservative media. Whereas on the left, things like Axios and all these different outlets pop up overnight political. Before you even know who the fuck is Axios, they've got these huge articles and supposedly thousands and thousands. Now we know they're all funded by USAID, but let's not get into that just yet. But PJ Media is a stark contrast to those guys. And I mean, there's so few right-wing outlets. RSBN is like the only right side broadcasting network, is like one of the few TV mediums where you can actually get not too terribly slanted right-wing news. They tell some truth. They let it all hang out. But PJ Media, I mean, so I read a few articles that I could online, and then I finally subscribed. I'm like, no, this for $50 a year, I can read this all day. There are great articles, great articles. Let me see if I can put this on the screen.
Well, you did. I'll just let you know too. A couple of our writers are also professional stand-up comedians or comic writers and stuff too. So, I mean, there's a lot of wit to be found there.
I love it. This guy, Scott Pinsker, actually kind of goes behind the scenes. He pulls back the curtain on you guys, and he talks about some of his fellow writers, and it kind of explains how it works down there. That each of you actually, you're not just. It's not a gift horse. You don't just turn in an article and say, "There you go." You guys have to fight to get your articles on the air down there. That's even more impressive. But he mentions you as one of the rock stars that he looked up to, which I thought was very cool. It's a great article.
Wow, I didn't even see that one. Thanks for calling.
What PJ Media writers really think of each other. I found it enlightening. I really enjoyed it. Whoever he is, I like him as much as I like you, and I don't even know you yet. So,
I bet he would come on your show too. I can pass this along and see. Whatever. I don't mean to invite someone onto your show for you.
I'll take it. Yeah, hook me up, sister. Hook me up.
Yeah.
I like to do this. My Sunday night program is just kind of where I bring on guests that people might not otherwise know, or if they know them from their shows. They know them from. But I like to know the person behind. Like, I mean, one of the things you mentioned that immediately piqued my interest is you said you were a musician. What lead singer, guitar player, what
rhythm guitar, writer, backing vocals. But I write a lot of the music. You know how it is. You collaborate with other band members. I was never good at lead guitar unless I could go privately at home and write the part and practice it. I could never what do you call it? Some people can just improvise, and it just comes out of them, and that never happened for me.
There are, let me show, I don't know if you can see this picture. I'm going to hold it up to the screen. That is, that's me and Chrissy Hine back in the 80s. So, I mean, there are plenty of women rhythm players who did rather well for themselves, Athena. I don't blame you for giving it a shot, Did you play the New York clubs like CBGB?
I played a couple of college parties. I would go to CBGBs a lot. I did go to college in New York City. I grew up in the suburbs of New York too, so I was always in and out of the city. And,
that was going to be another question. Thank you for answering that.
Oh yeah.
You're a New York City chick.
Yeah. In the Northeast, and now I'm in New England, and I just love it up here.
So I was waiting for I was kind of waiting to hear your voice because I was a kid who grew up in New Jersey. And I used
you were?
I used to walk my dog, play baseball.
Yeah, I thought you were West Coast born and bred.
Oh man, I've been here forever. So I thank God I've lost my. But when I first moved to California as a kid, I was crucified for my accent. I mean, they took me to task. But I love going back east. I love hanging out back there. I mean, I worked in Manhattan. I worked, believe it or not, I'm almost embarrassed to say it. On the Standard Hotel in the meatpacking district there. I was there for a year and a half on that 18-story monster. And I'm ashamed of myself now because, Andre Balaz and I can't even touch that that's such a hot topic. Some friends and I, we had YouTube programs that those guys started in 2018. I followed a little later. I came along around 2020 only because I was so turned on by what these guys were doing. They were doing conservative reporting. And there was a time where you could do conservative reporting
Hmm.
on YouTube. And these guys did really, really well up until November of 2020, when there was a thing called the Great Purge, and I watched like 40 of my friends get kicked to the curb. I'm sure. I mean, did you? You must
Oh
have.
yeah,
You must have
everyone knew
gotten.
somebody. Yeah, it was
You must
horrible.
have gotten alternative news from some sources over the past 10 years. I would imagine, right?
What choice did we have at that? I totally remember that purge. Yeah, they did it everywhere. It wasn't just YouTube, but so many friends get demonetized. It was horrifying. It's people's livelihoods, you know.
People who busted their ass to build their little communities
Yeah,
up to 100.
remember that?
They finally were making a little money so they could pay their bills and quit their day jobs, and all of a sudden the carpet is.
That
That's
was so horrible. Yeah, they should. I could never understand why they didn't have a class action suit there. I know it's like, oh, it's the terms of use or whatever, but you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, that was appalling what they did to people.
What do you think about the White House's new open door policy, where people just like yourself can reach out and say, I would like to be one of the people asking questions at the White House press corps. You know, it's not exclusive to the legacy media anymore. This past week, when I saw the, I can't think of the girl's name, whoever.
Oh, Levitt.
Yeah, Levitt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm like, wow, man, they're going to let the little people in. I mean, would you ever consider being one of the people going down there and asking questions? It's what, a 5-hour drive to Washington from here?
Take the train down or the shuttle.
There you go.
Yeah, not me personally. But PJ Media is part of Town Hall Media, and I know that the mothership, as we call it, is figuring out which reporters are probably the best fit for that, and we might sponsor one or two to go down there. We don't have the kind of resources that the bigger networks have, of course, but it's worth it because now we finally have access. It's insane. It reminded me, yeah. So
I think it's wonderful. I mean, one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you on is every single platform that I broadcast to. I'm on Rumble, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, Pilled.
I saw your opening where you just say hello to everyone. I don't know how you do it. You're
So
very synchronized.
what is wonderful about these platforms is these people support me. Okay, out of the goodness of their hearts, they whip out their wallets and they say, you know what, I'm going to send Zoe $5. Well, I'm going to send Zoe $20. I mean, when I least expect it, I'll be just down in the gutter going, oh man, my alternator went out, man, and I get a little bling on my phone, and here's $100 in my PayPal. I'm just like, oh my God. So the one reason I wanted to bring you on, one of the main reasons, is that I'm not kidding you. I've gone through, earlier today, preparing for you, I read about 8 of the different articles on PJ Media. And I'm going to show it again. I want you guys to see this. Okay, this is PJ Media. Let me go back to the home page, because folks, this is a great place to get your freaking news. All right. I'm not kidding you right here. It's like $4 a month. $4 a month.
We have a great promotion going on right now too. If you are a new subscriber, you use the promo code FIGHT, and you will get 60% off your new annual membership.
Wow.
We also have a lot of articles in front of the paywall too, if you want to just check it out for a while and see what you think. And then members get to go behind the paywall, and you get to be in the comments community, which is, like your community. It's just where you can really chat with each other and get to know each other.
Well, I'm serious. I mean, the people that hang out on my different platforms, they thrive on stuff like what you write. We'll be looking at one of your articles here in just a little bit, so I want them to see firsthand what some of your wordsmithing. But I really enjoy your style of writing. It's an easy read. Even if it's a heavy subject, you make it an easy read. And I'm telling you, I mean, that's what we need more of, as far as I'm concerned.
I have to, because I cannot. Some of the people who write at PJ are insanely smart, and I can't follow what they write half the time. Like Victoria Taft is one of them. She's a really great in-depth reporter. When she wants to, she digs into a subject, and I can't even follow it sometimes. And we have Vodka Pundit. We have a lot of people. They're very brilliant, and so for me, sometimes the concepts get a little too difficult, and so I really make a point of making sure I understand it and then trying to explain it in a logical way of understanding it and just proceeding through the topic. Yeah,
I love your writing. I've always just considered myself a bit of a lexiphile, and I've only had to bust out the thesaurus once reading your articles. So I'm feeling pretty good about my bad self right here.
Glad to hear it. Yeah.
Oh man, I want to, if I may, just
please, yeah, by all means.
As I said, I like for my people to know that people such as yourself are regular folks too. I mean, you're happily married, wife, kids, right? You just took your kids to college, right, and all that.
Yeah.
How long you been married, and what's your family makeup? How many boys? How many girls?
I've been married like 25 years at this point, and we have one of each, which is perfect. We would have had more, but I mean, we both work, and we just, hardly didn't have enough time even to spend all the time we wanted with the two we had, and so we quit while we were ahead. But probably would have had more otherwise.
Have you traveled much? Have you been able to check out this great United States of ours?
Yes, I love traveling in the U.S. As a kid, we would go, my family would go to Europe sometimes. Everybody did, but you remember the 80s, and it was, that was the thing. But I'm pretty much in love with this country now. And then there's so much of it I have yet to see. We spend most of our time on the East Coast. We go up in Massachusetts a lot. We go to Florida when it's cold, or one of the Carolinas, Yeah.
I started my show. I was all set to do a news show. I really was. And then I started looking around me at all of my buddies and all of their news shows. And honestly, they were doing such a great job. I was thinking to myself, how am I going to take my little wedge and stick it in there between all these others, muscle my shoulders in and say, no, watch me,
Well, you may say that, but
these guys are so good at what they do. I'm like, you know what? I've got this chance. I've got this little ledge that they gave me. I'm going to do something a little different with my show. And that's why I named it The Mystery Ship, because you never know what I'm going to talk about. Never. And half the time, neither do I. But I thought, once in a while, people need a little break from the news. And with my show, I started just doing anything from nostalgia to social abnormalities, things that just don't make sense, and as well as things that go bump in the night. I mean, if there's something that makes you raise an eyebrow, by goodness, I'll take a crack at it.
Excellent.
But one of the most fun things for me. I don't know if you got to see the little intro at the beginning of the show, but it was a picture of me on my motorcycle in various places around the U.S. Each and every summer, I jump on one of my two Harleys here, and I run across the country. I take a different route every time, and I meet the people who watch my show.
Oh, that's great.
And I'll, bring them shirts or mugs, or at least a bumper sticker or a hat or something, and it is. I kind of feel that what I'm doing is it's just that much different than the other guys.
That's pretty different. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and what is so wonderful, Athena, I'm not kidding you. People will say to me, there's a guy in my chat right now. He goes by the name of Crazy Chuck with a K. But let me interject first. Have you ever heard of pilled.net? Have you ever heard of that before?
Not until I started checking out some of your shows. I hadn't even heard of that one. No.
Okay. They're also, it's a sister station to a place called the Foxhole, and it's that is an ample description. It's a teeny tiny little place tucked away. You have to know where it is to get down in it. But I'm telling you, it is the home of free speech. We can say whatever. No one is ever going to shut us down over there for whatever we say. And I'm
looking it up now as you speak because I got to see this.
Yeah, I just absolutely love love being part of it. The Foxhole. They are wonderful, wonderful folks, and it truly is the home of free speech. But I end up going around the country meeting people. This guy I was just alluding to, Crazy Chuck with a K. I had just left Michigan, and I got back on my bike, and I'm actually listening. I got my phone tuned into my speakers on my Harley on my fairing, and I'm riding along, listening to music from my brother Uncle Krusty, and I'm reading the chat every now and then. And one of the guys says, "Hey man, if you ever get near Toledo, you need to look me up." And I glance up. I've just gone into Ohio from Michigan, and Toledo, next 4 stops.
Like, oh, well, yeah.
In 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I'm in this guy's driveway. He takes me for a ride in this badass Dodge that he went through, and oh my God,
that's cool.
He's so talented. And every town, there's a story like that for me. I mean, from Pittsburgh to Las Cruces to Dallas to St. Augustine, there are people in every town to say, "So, dude, when you get here, you got a place to stay, a pillow to let you shower. My wife will cook you dinner." I mean, it is so wonderful. It is, and getting to see this country at the same time. One of the other things I do besides meeting people is I'll take them to the Devil's Tower. I'll take them to Niagara Falls. I'll take them to Mount Rushmore. Or, this last summer I went to Yellowstone, and I got there just in time to see Old Faithful erupt. I mean, it was talk about just pure luck. I love doing what I do, and that's what I get out of you and your writing. Clearly, this stuff flows out of you because you love you. I mean, it just has to. So this is the perfect tap of your creative juices. Am I right?
That's what I love about PJs, because it is the perfect combination of news, which I love from a conservative point of view. So I've always kind of enjoyed that so much, but also that they let you be creative. You can pick your own topics, and you can write in your own style, and you can write a column if you don't even feel like doing something that's hard news. So we're definitely creatives. Also, a lot of the people there, like I said, some were professional comedians. Some of us had bands. Some of us still do. Some worked in Hollywood writing comedy, so we all have that creative background as well. And it's just the perfect blend of performing and news. And like I do sometimes, consider our mission at PJ also to be entertainment in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you did on Rush, that piqued my curiosity.
That was a guest post mostly from a friend of mine who wrote in, and I've kind of pulled a Zoe. I went and met him in person because I happened to be in the town where he was, and wonderful guy, and really loved meeting him. Brilliant man, by the way, and full of interesting information and news. But anyway, so he guest posted that. Sometimes if I have somebody write an article who's a good friend of mine and who I've been corresponding with, I will definitely lend the platform and give credit to the person who sent in a lot of it, or I will edit it and mix it up with things I write. And it's a wonderful way to add variety to it. Yes, I know exactly the article you're talking about. Yeah. He wrote about it.
I want to talk about one of your articles specifically. I'm going to pull it up right now and put it on the screen. I loved this one. Because it is so fucking true. And I'm cutting off the top. Let me get this. Flailing Democrats turn. Damn it. There is a flailing Democrats turn to yet another once effective technique. And your article goes on to say how these freaking turkeys are, and they're so good at it. They're so good at it. And the meme that you included with the little puppy.
Oh my gosh.
So the article in a nutshell, people, a great article. I I invite you. In fact, I challenge you to go to PJ Media and read this article. You will freaking love it. You will freaking love it because it's something that I loved. So we all like the same stuff. I promise you. If I like it, you'll like it. Much like hot fudge on my vanilla ice cream. Anyway, great article, Athena. I absolutely loved every minute of it.
Because, you know, again, being from like a background of advertising and marketing and stuff, I totally know what they do when they get these sob stories. Because, you know, as I say in the article, when you just give statistics, oh, you know, this many people this was, you know, the Democrats use sob stories. For instance, one thing they used was, you know, when Trump was separating families at the border, which is, you know, which every administration has done, and which anyone who ever gets arrested is separated from their children, as they should be. And so you can say like, oh, we have a statistic where 500 kids were separated from the adults they were traveling with or whatever. But the Democrats are experts at finding a sad crying baby or a mom or something and making it a personal story. And it's very hard to look at. It's like those, you know, the ASPCA commercials with the crying puppy dogs and things. It pulls at your heartstrings. And so Democrats have always been able to use that very effectively to find a victim and say, oh, look what these mean Republicans did. Remember, they did it even to Mitt Romney. They're like, oh, he put the dog on the roof of the car. He gave this woman cancer, you know. But they make a personalized story about something. And they're flailing right now. So they've been so completely routed, and everyone is so tired of them. Yeah, that's the meme. I freaking love that.
I love it. Oh, hostage puppy.
Like USAID, you know, we're just...
There it is. 99% of what an organization does is corrupt and awful, as proven by Elon Musk. But if you cut funding, the puppy dies. I swear to God, I rolled. I rolled when I read
this. That's what USAID is, 100%. And because, you know, Musk is blowing that whole thing out of the water, you know, so now they're trying one of their other old techniques, which is the sob stories, but they can't find any because everyone is like, good, I'm glad we're doing this. This is what I voted for, you know. So they have opened up a portal that all the swamp creatures who are getting fired now, like USAID people, you know, they can go onto this portal and tell their story about how, oh, no, I got fired because of mean Trump and Musk. And, you know, now I can't have my second home on Fire Island or wherever. I can't pay the mortgage. I'm losing my house, whatever. It's like they've been doing it to us for a long time.
Bring out the violins, right?
That's what it is. They're trying to find sob stories, and they're not going to find them. It's not going to work anymore.
Yeah, I mean, no, as several people have pointed out, I'm just repeating them. Nobody was crying and sobbing in the buying from the Biden administration. Nobody shed any tears over all the pipeline workers who got laid off the day by
exactly.
I mean, that took a huge bite out of. I mean, that was anyway. But what I loved about this, I mean, what was so on the money is no sooner dropped this article, and then 2 days later, 60 Minutes does the story of the weeping writer for Samantha Powers, right? 2 weeks ago we had a future and now we just don't know. like she's a clerical worker who answers the phone at US. This is the speechwriter for freaking Samantha Power. She's getting 8 months of fucking salary.
Right.
She's crying the blues on 6. We just don't know what we're going to do. That's what was so beautiful about this article. And folks, I'm not kidding you. So what I'm proving to you folks is that this lady's got her thumb right on the pulse, right here, baby. Okay.
I know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that you and your band of merry men and women over there at PJ are doing just a fabulous job. And I want to encourage people to go over to PJ Media and sign up because, I mean, there isn't an article you'll find that where you will not be disappointed by a single article over there. Where do you get the? I'll go differently with this question. Mm-hmm. Your upcoming articles. Are you any topics in particular that are tickling your fancy right now?
I just wrote one about election fraud case going on in Florida, The article was this one is actually behind the paywall, but I will give you the gist of it. It is called "Did the Democrats Actually Steal the 2024 Election and We Didn't Even Notice?" Because we saw President Trump was elected with a huge amount of votes, even the popular vote. And I know also that the RNC under Trump had really become super effective at busting up things Democrats had done before. We were all primed and looking for the fraud that they always do, for the midnight ballot dumps, midnight magic. And it didn't happen this time, and we were all satisfied with that. But when you step back and look, you will see that like all of the swing states that Trump won, sometimes by a lot. Meanwhile, all of the down ballot races for senators and
Oh
U.S.
yeah, I read that article. Yes.
Yeah, those went to Democrats. And it was kind of an odd split. You could see that maybe happening here and there, but it happened in every state. And, it's starting to look like BS. So there is a lawsuit going on right now in a court in Tallahassee, Florida. It was a race for the 14th District U.S. representative seat in Florida. And the Republican won, as always happens when you go to bed and when you wake up the next day, lo and behold, all of these mail-in votes showed up, and now the Democrat won by so much. So the Republican sued, and he has a very good lawyer. They wrote an algorithm to show that there were all of these fake mail-in voters added. They're called clones. They are voter accounts, ballots that are created for a person who doesn't really exist. So they take an existing voter and they change maybe the spelling of the last name or something and create a whole new person. Yeah. And in this one county in this district in one day, there were something like 196,000 ballot applications dropped in.
They'll take a name like Shackelford and then they'll add an E to it on the next spelling.
Correct. They really screwed the pooch with this one. They just, like I said, they did one day dump like hundreds of thousands of applications, and they didn't have all the required information, and they were processed anyway. And that's a felony in Florida, just like ballot harvesting is a felony. But these things never get prosecuted. But people are very sick of it, and this case is now going to court. And if the court finds that fraud did occur, they may order it. They may nullify that election and order a new one. But more important, they may authorize an investigation into this kind of fraud in Florida. And if that happens, you're going to see these cases blow up all across the country, because everyone else who also lost, curiously, in states that Trump won by a lot, but somehow the Republicans down ballot all lost.
Arizona, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, every single freaking time in Arizona. It's ridiculous. Wisconsin, Michigan, there's a whole bunch of them. So
that Katie Hobbs needs to be strung up by.
What the hell?
And then New York is just as bad, because when Kathy Hochul won, I know a lot of New Yorkers. Now I don't know a ton, but I know over 100, and I don't know a single one who voted for Katie Hobbs. Not one. There is something amiss in that. So how AOC continually
many of them. I just with the if you were in New York State, and again, I grew up in New York State, I live right near it. I don't go to New York City anymore. I don't know how anyone can live there, just because of the bail reform that they do. So all these maniacs are just walking around. It's terrifying. And I don't know how anyone can vote for that or the sanctuary state stuff, and yet it goes through, and yet these people keep getting reelected, and nobody can understand it. So maybe you have a point, even in New York.
Have you heard of a podcaster in the New York area? He's been going for 13, 14, 15 years. A guy who goes by the name of, his show is called Quite Frankly. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Huge YouTube presence. 1,000 watchers every night, and half as many again the next day, people who couldn't watch live. He's on like 30 platforms. A friend of mine, a friend of this show, and really a neat guy. Just a guy who's, what I love about him is he's 35, 36. He's like 37, about to be 38, which is a full generation behind me. But we've become friends. we've become friends over the past 5 years. I started out as just a guy watching his show on YouTube. Then I became a mod, and then as I started doing my cross country runs, he would invite me to his studio in New York, and I would drop in on him. And I mean, you'd be a great guest to go in the studio, but I know you like to keep your anonymity.
Yeah, I can.
You could wear one of those, Biden masks or something. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No, just what I love about the reason I brought him up is what I love about guys like him and shows like his, and I could name half a dozen others off the tip of my tongue, is that it gives me hope that the generation behind me, I'm an old duffer. Okay. If you look at the back of my truck, there's a big old bumper sticker and it says Republican with a checkbox, Democrat with a checkbox. And then it says awake and the box is checked. Okay. They're done pulling the wool over my freaking eyes. The uniparty and all that is I'm so over it. And what I love about this guy in particular, and you might look him up on
I already have while you're talking. I already looked him up.
Quite frankly, this is a really, really savvy young kid who just gets it. He has great guests. I mean, last week he had Liz Crokin, he had Roseanne Barr. I mean, he gets all these.
Oh my gosh, how have I not heard of him?
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm sure,
and a buddy of mine doing the Trump dance, a buddy of mine. So anyway, what I see, thank God, is that although my generation is, we've known this stuff for 20 freaking years. There's a younger generation of kids coming up behind us and another one behind them they're smelling the rat, and I
think they are. Yeah.
So as much as that gives me hope, I've got to ask you this. And I really, are you able to, if I put something on the screen, are you able to see it?
Yes, it's pretty small, but I can probably see it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to, all I really need to do is just kind of tell you about this. So, in the last week we've had the whole, Pam Bondi affair with, the Epstein files, with a long-awaited Epstein file. Oh, it turns out there's going to be a couple different phase 1 and phase 2, and I'm sorry, but I'm a realist. Either give them to me or don't.
That was a crappy roll.
Oh, SDNY has apparently James Comey's daughter is in charge of this situation, and her husband happens to be prosecuting P. Diddy. They're sitting on all this video evidence, and you're never going to, it just seems like they just keep moving the goalpost. And look, I want to believe in Pam Bondi. I want to believe in Kash Patel. I want to believe in all of the people that Trump has installed. But, I've been, that little number 17 thing, I've been following that for a great many years now. And I'm not saying that there aren't some amazing coincidences, deltas to the day, 7 years later, boom, there is some amazing stuff to that. But what I, at this point, at 60, I'm about to turn 66, what I want to see is not only perp walks.
Yes.
I want to see somebody get sent to pound me in the ass, fucking jail. Pardon my French, okay? Pardon my zeal.
Wow. We all feel that way.
I have been strung along for so long. I'm starting to re-question my. I don't want to say I'm black pilled. I am a direct descendant, my dear, of Thomas Jefferson. My grandmother's name was Jefferson. My mother's name was Alice Jefferson Asbury. My grandmother was born in Virginia. We are from direct lineage of the Jeffersons of Virginia. I have a book at home, 3 volumes, and you can trace me. I'm in that book. You can trace my lineage right back to Thomas Jefferson. I'm telling you, the blood coursing through my veins is of liberty. I want to see that tree of liberty refreshed more than anybody in the freaking world.
Somebody's got to be accountable for something, please. And they keep teasing us along, and I feel it. I'm with you. That rollout of the Epstein stuff was horrific.
So I mean, I just for curiosity's sake, just to give a call us. I did a little interesting dive on Pam Bondi. Well, who is Pam Bondi? Because I did a little background check, and yeah, she was revered as this. She busted some big cases there down in Florida when she was Attorney General, and apparently they're trying to say that she's all that. And I promise I probably wouldn't throw her out of the sack, but let me. She's kind of in my age group. I kind of find her mildly attractive, but I want to, look here. I'm putting this on the screen. It's going to be very small, so I'll probably read it to you. But here she is. Who is Pam Bondi? Right, first female Attorney General in 2011. Florida's first female Attorney General. She prosecuted some several very high-profile cases, building a notable career. But she left Florida to work with Donald Trump as for one of his lobbying firms. She is one of the richest attorneys in Florida. Her wealth is believed to have increased by 1,000% over the decade. She's got a nice big stake in Trump's media group. She owns a $10 million real estate portfolio, a penthouse worth $2.5 million, waterfront mansion in Miami worth $4 billion, a $1.5 million home in Aspen, and then other places in Naples, Florida, and Orlando, Florida. Additionally, she owns 6 luxury cars, including a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Lamborghini Urus, a Bentley Continental GT, and a Tesla Model X. So, this is what I'm asking you, conservative to conservative, believer to believer, hopium drinking person to the next. Is this really the person who is going to send Adam Schiff to pound me in the ass, prison? I'm sorry, the biker comes out of me when I
laugh every time. I don't know yet. People I know are impressed with her. People who I trust, who generally have really good instincts, are impressed with her. I don't know that they have looked into her as much as you have. My jury is out. That was a train wreck with the Epstein stuff. Still waiting for the rest of it. I don't know. So I'm going to say the jury's out. I can't tell you yet. But this is our last chance these 2 years to get some accountability and have some perp walks to
amen, sister. Amen.
I'm watching Comey right now. I know they're looking into him about a couple things. They're investigating him. It's disgusting what that man did. Let's see what happens there. I don't know. I'm waiting for it. Now's our chance. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Just like these cases that I write about too. It's like, it's got to happen. If it doesn't happen in the next 2 years, then it's not going to.
I'm telling you, sister, I so want to believe, I feel like that guy on the X-Files.
That's what I'm saying. We're Mulder, yeah.
I want to believe.
I want to believe, yeah.
Damn.
Poster, yeah.
Because I could very quickly turn and go black-pilled and you'll never see me again. So
please don't.
No, I look, my glasses always half full. Okay. I am an optimist, and what can I say? What can I say? Believe me, coming across people like you gives me a second to go, okay, it's not as bad as I thought.
There are so many of us, right? You and me, and both of us know a lot of, it's not terrible, but people like you and me aren't the ones in charge either. So
no. Yeah. And here's the truth. Bondi was in there, maybe 3 weeks before that thing happened. And then Kash Patel was there like 1 week. You're
Oh
not
yeah, no,
you're not
please.
you're not going to clean up a filthy, dirty organization 60 years in the muck and mire
Nope,
in
nope,
7 working days. I'm sorry, it's just not.
no.
But I want to see sweeping reforms. I want to see heads rolling, heads on pikes. I
Yeah,
I
there needs to be
I
accountability. People really did horrible stuff and really screwed our country. It crossed the Rubicon so many times, just destroyed norms.
what any other interesting articles coming up that we should keep an eye open for your next? Do you have a topic that you're working on for your, or maybe
There's
maybe
something I'm
you can't
looking
let the cat out of
into.
the bag?
And what was that? I'm sorry.
I said maybe you can't let the cat out of the bag, but yeah, are you midstream on your next article?
No, I'm right now. I don't get to write as often as I would like to. I do a lot of editing, also as a day job. So, it kind of, I don't have as much time to write as I'd like to. One story I'm tracking right now is the organization Greenpeace. You know how they shut down that pipeline,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
or they
Oh,
tried to, and it finally did get built. But you recall they damaged property all the time. They had their horrible encampments. They attacked
oh.
people.
Drove stakes into
Yeah,
yeah.
you remember all that. So, and it was one of those things like you and I were saying, like, where are the perp walks? Where are the people going to jail? Where's the accountability? Energy Transfer, the company that owns the pipeline, is actually suing Greenpeace, and the trial has just started last week. It's in, which state is it in? I can't remember. Not Illinois. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me right now. But so far, the trial is not going that well for Greenpeace, and Energy Transfer is suing them for, I think, 300 million, which is an existential problem for Greenpeace. Like, they will probably shut down if they lose this case, and so that is going on now. And so I'm tracking that, and that's good fun.
Do you? I gotta ask this for you as a writer, okay? Because this is what I do.
Uh-huh.
What I'm putting, okay, in preparing for today's article interview with you. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I was in my house earlier and I started writing down notes here, and then later on, I was out here in my garage and where I have another different notepad. So I got 2 pages of notes there, and then
Wow.
little when I was driving to work a couple of days ago, I have this little book in my car, and I started writing down these notes.
Oh
And
my God.
so when at the end of the day, I piece it all together. Wait, I remember I found that out about. Okay, so I mean, is that? I'm just kind of curious if you approach your writing from the same. Do you get little bits of pieces of information and just like tally them all up and then go through and review all your notes and then sit down? Do you bomb it all out at once? Is that how you?
It depends on how big the story is. The article that I did just write, the behind the paywall one about the lawsuit in Florida about maybe Democrats stole the down ballot elections in the down ballot races in the last election. That one took me several days to write. So that was exactly what you say. A bit of information here, a bit of information there. I basically have like 100 tabs open while I'm writing them, and you piece the story together from that. Other stories are very straightforward and quick. Some things I just track in the background and I wait for it to break one way or another before I write about it. Like the Greenpeace article right now. I try not to, I joined PJ about 2.5 years ago, and that was during the Biden years and the shutdowns and all the stuff. And you want to talk about black pilled, it was a depressing time. And I really tried to make it a point not to write bad news. So, for instance, the Greenpeace story I'm tracking, if that case breaks the wrong way, if Greenpeace is never held accountable, I'm probably not going to write about it. I used to do that when I first started writing at PJ, like you can't believe this situation. This is so
Right.
bad, but like you get tired of being outraged. It's like, God damn it, no one's ever going to be held accountable. So I don't do those.
That's all we've been for 25 years. It's pissed
Yeah.
off. It's nice to read stories of accountability, or at least things, the stars lining up for. In other words, we've pulled the wool back, baby. We know what you're up to. I very much enjoyed that article you just referenced. The one I showed to these people earlier. The Did the Democrats steal the 2020
Yeah.
election? And we
Yeah.
didn't even know. Very well written, very wonderful thing.
Thank you. Well, I couldn't believe that. I was like,
As,
holy crap. Yeah.
as I promised you, I'm not going to keep you up late. I know it's 11.
You're a real sweetie,
It's
and I really appreciate you're a
great.
gentleman.
Oh, I thank you kindly. What it means is since I kept my end of the deal, I hope you will come back sometime and chat some more when some more breaking stories come across, and we can do that. But I just wanted to see this opportunity to introduce you and your fine folks over at PJ to all of my different platforms, because I really think you are doing a great service to us conservatives. And my hat is off to you, nice lady. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure getting to know you. And
I had so much fun, and I actually wound up learning a bunch of stuff. I have some great new shows to watch now, thanks to you. So I appreciate that. And also, if you are on your bike tour this summer and you're on the East Coast, please, we'll totally hang out. So let me know.
I'd love to meet you for a slice of pizza in New York somewhere. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'd love it. Yeah. All right. Well, let's definitely stay in touch.
Kiddo, have a great one. Thank you so very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'll see you when the roosters are crowing.
All right. Thanks. Have a great time. Good night.
Thank you so very much.
Bye.
All right. That is Athena Thorne, folks. Let me get back on full screen here. How do I do that? I think I do it this way. All right. Okay. Boom. We are good. We are back. That was very interesting. A really, really neat lady. Her writing style is just absolutely, man, she's not messing around. She's like a couple of lower cuts and then an uppercut. Seriously, if you have not had the opportunity to check out PJ Media, I invite you to do so. We're going to do a little break right here. Yes, we're going to do a little break right here, and I'll be back. I will be back right after this. I invite you to stick around, and yeah, I think I'm going to open up the lines and chat with you guys a bit and see what the heck is on your minds, because I'm dying to talk to my sailors. All right, we'll be back immediately following this little video.
My fellow citizens, our country is in danger, but not to be despaired of. On you depend the fortunes of America. We, the Americans of today, are ready to act worthy of ourselves, ready to do what must be done to ensure happiness and liberty for ourselves, our children, and our children's children. We are a nation under God, and I believe God intended for us to be free. The crisis we're facing today, it does require, however, our best effort and our willingness to believe in ourselves and to believe in our capacity to perform great deeds. to believe that together, with God's help, we can and will resolve the problems which now confront us. And after all, why shouldn't we believe that? We are Americans.
We are freaking Americans, baby. And we're fed up with baloney. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. I'm coming back to you, fine folks. I want to thank again my guest, Athena Thorne, a scribe over there at PJ Media, and a woman who's just, folks, she's spreading the truth. You will love her articles. I'm tickled pink. I look in the chats. My buddy Cosmic Grandpa says, awesome guest, subbed to PJ Media. That's what I hope for. All of us who like to read instead of just watching videos, at PJ Media is a great place to turn. They've got a freaking stable of writers there, and they're doing us justice. You know, they're giving us the straight facts. And it's funny. I took this moment to scroll back into the chats and see what you guys are thinking, because I think I was pretty clear. I mean, I hope I didn't surprise the woman or scare the woman. It's the first time I've ever chatted with her, and here I am going pounding her in the head, you know. But seriously, there's accountability, and then there's justice. And as I said on my last show, Lady Justice, with that fine figure of hers, every statue I've ever seen of Lady Justice, that the woman's body is, you know, it's like Venus de Milo with arms. She has a sword in one arm, and she's got a blindfold on. And she needs to take that freaking blindfold off, drop the scales for a second, take off the blindfold, and start. You know what I mean? I want to see some of this. I want to see some Conan the Barbarian shit going on. Do I have hope? Yes, but here's the thing, folks. I took my tank and I doubled the size of it. I added another tank so I could fill up. I could really go for a long ride of hopium. And my car is starting to sputter. I so want to believe, and I do. Well, let me see. Who said it? Over here at Pilled Foxhole. Chirping Cricket said, I am so where you are, Zoe. You know, darling, I want to freaking believe. I want to believe. But I also want to see the cage slam on somebody, because the only person I've seen it slam on was people like my buddy Pyanon, who was one of our guests last night, a January 6th alumnus like myself, who got thrown in the clink for over a year. Okay. Why are people like that being tossed in the clink when people that we have absolutely ice cold evidence on of lying before Congress, and how can they still be walking the streets? There's just something. I just, you know, what's funny? I was black-pilled for many years. Black-pilled for many years. And when the 2016 election came around, and they offered me two people. They offered me a television star, billionaire television star in Donald Trump. And they offered me someone I knew to be a criminal, a known criminal. I looked at the two things and I said, man, you give me something worth voting for and I'll vote, because the last time I voted was 2000, when I mistakenly voted for George Bush, who I later, a mere 4 or 5 years later, I realized that he was every bit the criminal that the rest of them are. And I always hated myself for that. And that's why I stopped voting. I'm like, I'm taking part in a system that is rigged against us. Just like George said, it's a big club and we're not in it, you know? 2 years into the Trump presidency, by 2018, I started looking at this man through a slightly different set of shades. Okay. I took off my glasses and I said, no, wait a minute. This guy, he's for real. He's not taking a salary. Oh, they made him at least take $1. Okay. So he's donating the rest of his salary to the sheriffs and stuff. Well, that's interesting. And then I saw what he did for the veterans, and that made me raise my other eyebrow. And I, could this freaking guy be for real? And by 2019, I was like, okay, all right, this guy isn't like the rest of them, and everything the press has to say about him is completely negative. They can't stand him. He's a billionaire, so he can't be bought. He already has money. They can't dangle money in front of him. And that's when I changed my. That's when I went out and registered to vote for the first time in 20 years. And in the 2020 election, when I voted for Donald Trump, I believed in my vote. I thought for a second, maybe my country isn't broken. Maybe it isn't. And here it is, 5 years later. And here we are once again. We are up at bat. Now, granted, it's the freaking first inning, and we haven't even come to bat yet. The other team's still swinging away. Our pitchers are giving them hell. But talk to me about around the seventh inning stretch, and I'll let you know what I really think, because I want to believe, folks. You know me. I want to freaking believe. I'm going to take a moment to put a number here on the screen. I want to put a number here on the screen, and I want to invite you to call in, because I'm interested. I'm interested in what you have to say. Let me do this. Here we go. One more zero. Whoop. Yes, there it is. There it is in bold letters across the bottom of your screen. I think you can read that in spite of my white Rolling Stones shirt. I guess I should turn my phone on. Okay. Okay, the phone is working. The phone is working, and there's a number on your screen. Folks, here's what I want to know from you. We just had a wonderful guest who she believes so much. She's still right. She writes for a wonderful, and believe me, hard to find. Had you ever even heard of PJ Media before? I doubt it, but you have now. And that's my job. My job is to spread the good word. It's to spread the good word because it's so far. For every one JP Media, you got 100 Axios and Politicos and all these left-wing organizations that came out of nowhere. Now they're correcting that. I love the fact that the White House is now bringing in outside people. Quite frankly, wrote to the White House and said, "I want to send a representative down there." Let's see. We have somebody. I just had somebody on the line. Somebody was just ringing my phone. Ring it again, and I'll grab it. I saw you ringing it. Anyway, I'm inviting you to call in with your opinion because I want to know. Is there anyone else who, as excited as this looks, has just a tinge of a bad taste on the corner of their tongue in spite of everything that looks rosy? Let's find out what LT has to say. LT, how are you doing, my brother? It's been a minute since you called in.
Oh, yeah. I'm usually lurking.
Yeah, I understand. Hey, my man, what do you think about our prospects here in America? Do you think that we're finally going to see some justice served?
I want to see the whole California political mafia brought down.
Where you live, baby. You're seeing it firsthand. You always have been. Yeah, you worked for the state of California, did you not?
No, I was a consultant and had to deal with them all.
Oh, okay.
And the feds.
But I'm saying that's a pretty front track. You've got an inner line on things. You know how it works down there.
Yeah. Well, I'm retired now.
Good for you. You know, one of the things I loved going through California on my last motorcycle trip, which was just before the election, was someone took a giant tractor trailer, a semi-truck trailer, and painted Trump and aimed it. They put it in a field aiming right at the downtown Sacramento offices where Gavin lives. I mean, I thought he had to look out his window and see this giant Trump banner. I thought that was wonderful. I can't get enough of stuff like that.
Yeah. The governor here, if that's what you want to call him, disgusting. That's all I got to say about it. He's just a disgusting man.
Dude, I mean, I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't know. He and all of his predecessors, going all the way back to just right after Reagan, they're all intertwined. They're all part of, aren't they all? Don't they all stem from Getty, or is it? Isn't it the Getty family that are all? They're all related in some strange quagmire. It's crazy.
Oh, you know the background of Pelosi, right?
Yeah. Pelosi and her ilk. Wait, no, it's not Getty. It's for God's sakes, the one with the mansion in Northern California. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Man, don't tell me my steel trap is beginning to rust. The Hearst family. Aren't they all related? Aren't they all related to the Hearst family and offshoots and some?
That would you'd have to ask Duppy that kind of stuff. He digs into that.
Oh yeah, Duppy's deep in that. Yeah. I'm pretty certain I'm correct on that. Kill it, Peter, killing me. heaters roasting me right out of this room. LT, it's always a pleasure to speak with you, man. How's things going in your world? All right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Good.
Just keep trying to keep myself healthy after the blood pressure BS.
But you're doing all right, and you're holding your own for the moment.
For the moment, yeah.
Glad to hear it, buddy. Glad to hear it, dude. Always a pleasure to talk with you. Please call into the mystery ship any old time you like.
All right, yeah. And all I can say is they've only been in 2 weeks, Cash and Blondie, and now you got Bongino. I've been black-filled for a long time.
I agree with you. I agree with you, man. Let's.
We haven't had a fair election here in decades.
No, I guess we should at least give them a moment to get their footing and all that. You know, I'm with you. All right, my brother.
All right.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Good night.
All right.
Hey, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. Who was it? Someone in this chat. Who was it? One of my buddies. Somebody is always at my Saturday show. Here we go. The All Flash. The All Flash said, if anybody will get Adam, it will be Dan Bongino. He said he needs to be held accountable. And I agree with you. I freaking agree with you, brother. Welcome aboard the mystery ship. Someone in the 788 area. Is it? Welcome aboard. Who do we have on the line?
Good day. Hey, it's your brother Ron from Canada, otherwise known as Canadian Patriot 17. How's it going, Zoe?
Ron, how are you doing, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I was just I was just looking at maps after annexation. You know, when Canada becomes the 51st state, and then I started thinking, Zoe, you're going to have to. It's definitely going to. You're going to have to reroute your bike trip once Canada becomes the 51st state, because all these Canadians are going to expect that you roll through their town,
dude,
on your tour. So
I'm looking forward.
You better make sure you got an extra set of tires at least.
Yeah, tell me, what is the optimal time of year to go through Canada? It's got to be like June, July, and August, right? Because it's got to be perfect.
Yeah. Probably springtime or fall, because it does get hot up here in Canada during the summertime.
Really?
We get like when Neil came here, one of the things that she noticed is that we didn't have AC. And I said, well, why would we need it? We only get about 3 weeks of really warm weather, and then it gets cold. So, but we did manage to get one of those portable air conditioners, you know, for a couple of rooms in the house, which is
those little pinguinos,
and some ceiling fan. You know,
there
they
you
make
go.
a great gift.
Well, that's an awesome thing. Yeah, you don't want her freezing her persimmons. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. We want to keep our fruit, you know, room temperature.
Man. Yeah, dude, believe me, I am looking forward. There's a place I've always wanted to go, which is Lake Louise. Is that Banff?
Okay, yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, Banff, Jasper. Yeah, those are
my dad.
Popular and
my dad went there and sent me pictures when I was a kid. He said, Albert, this might be the most beautiful place I've ever seen in the whole world. And I'm like, damn it, I want to go there. So,
yeah.
Have you been over there?
Well, if you go to Banff, you'll roll through our town for sure. So
there we go.
That. Hopefully, you put that pin on the map. You'll probably just want to tour Western Canada, mostly, you know, British Columbia, where Bruce Banner lives on the coast there in Vancouver, and then and Alberta, which is like Texas Canadian style, and then you know, Saskatchewan maybe, because it's got nice flat straight roads. You can probably just set the bike on cruise control and
really
nap. Oh yeah,
it's weird.
I go too far east in Canada, because that's where all the libtards are.
Yeah, right. I stay away from Toronto and all the insanity.
Yeah, exactly. You want to stay away from Ottawa and Quebec, you know, Ontario, those places, because they're unpopular.
Yeah, it was May I ask you, you've probably spoken with your fellow Canadians, how far-fetched is the idea of Canada annexing with us? I mean, are they excited at the prospect, or are they like, no?
No, I
Yeah.
don't think they are, because
Yeah.
the reason why is because the mainstream media, the legacy media here in Canada, has been pounding the Orange Man bad drum since 2017. And so a lot of Canadians are indoctrinated with, Trump being a narcissistic sort of megalomaniac that doesn't have any care about the world, only himself, and all the lies that the news tells. And I was on today with Bruce, and I said, what would make a difference is if you change the villain, because right now Trump is the villain, and if he annexed Canada, Canadians would be like, he took our sovereignty, he's a bully, he took away our freedoms, and now we don't have our future or our past, he's erased our identity and all this stuff. So I was telling Bruce, with all this Ukraine support and the European countries, the Commonwealth countries that we're a part of, like England and Australia and Spain and all these other,
right.
France, all these other countries, while they're working with Zelensky in Ukraine, this would be a perfect opportunity for Russia to invade Canada from the north, and then basically we could never defend ourselves against Russia. We have such a pathetic military and armed forces. And if they're occupied and committed to the Ukraine, because that's where Trudeau is right now, is promising money and troops and ammunition and different things for Ukraine, that if Russia came in, we would be totally defenseless. And then Trump could come in and negotiate a peace with Russia, and then have them pull out, and then he could annex Canada as more of a, we're going to protect you from Russia and China and any other invading army, but you need to be under the American Constitution, and we need to have access to the north and the different maybe points of entry. And I think that might work, because right now I don't think Canada would accept annexation from a Trump administration, just because of the media lies that they've been inundated with for so long.
Well, I'm a little curious here. Much like I live in the state of Oregon, and although Oregon covers a fair amount of territory, quite a many million acres, we have these blue strongholds in Portland, in Salem, in Eugene, in Bend, and just south of me in Ashland, where they're really crazy. And the purple-haired, nose-ringed, the whole, the ilk. And they like to live in huddled masses. So they represent a great amount of the population, even though in the outlying areas, all the rest of us seem to be a little bit more regular Joes. Is Canada the same way? I mean, you mentioned Ottawa and Toronto and Quebec.
I think those blue areas, like you mentioned, are likely in Eastern Canada. We're very conservative in the western part of Canada.
Okay.
Blue collar people, a lot of oil and farming and agriculture and forestry and stuff. So people need to go out and use their labor to make their living. So I think that one of the problems we're having with Eastern Canada is that Canada basically, we're probably responsible for maybe 1.5, maybe 2% of the world's emissions, the CO2 emissions, the pollution and all that from our industry, which is next to nothing, like 1.5%, 2% is next to nothing,
right?
Compared to what countries like India or China
are belching out. Yes. Completely unregulated.
Yeah. And they don't have any sort of green plan or carbon tax or anything. So, and I was telling Bruce this today, is the irony is we have such a huge land mass, and so much of it is green trees, right? So Canada is actually the filter of
the world,
gas,
Yes.
Yeah. So we, and instead of like charging countries like India and China and stuff for filtering the air.
You should be getting bonus credits.
Yeah, we cap ourselves.
You should be getting paid for your
federalists saying you can't, drill oil or do forestry or have industry because it'll destroy the earth. Well,
England, France, Germany, Belgium, they should all be paying you guys for your non-carbon
I know,
footprint.
and that's how backwards it is. Right?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
hopefully, we're going to have a new prime minister pretty soon. My understanding is Trudeau is going to be out probably within a couple of weeks, even though he's in England right now trying to negotiate deals, and he's been appointing judges and other leaders and stuff.
Are you doomed for another lefty prime minister?
Oh yeah. They're trying to bring in a person called Mark Carney, who is he hasn't even been in America or in Canada for several years. He's got dual citizenships in Ireland and England, I think, and so he's just another WEF puppet, a World Economic Forum puppet that's basically come in to destroy Canada by not allowing it to grow its industry and enrich itself that way, and set up partnerships with other countries around the world. And also, he's a part of that immigration program, which is bringing in huge amounts of people from the Muslim countries and India, and it just takes such a huge toll on our healthcare system, our housing, our schools, and all of it, and then just basically our culture, right? Because now
I met a guy from Canada.
Diversity is our strength, but that's not the case. When people have common values and morals, that's the strength. When you have a group of people that don't agree on things like their morals, their faith, their God, you're going to have conflict, and that's exactly why they're bringing in people who have opposing views and morals and beliefs than Canadians do.
They want to turn you into the third world country they were trying to turn us into. Yeah,
exactly. No, I think a lot of countries around the world are experiencing this sort of program where they just open up the borders and flood the country with, and now that the USAID stuff is coming out, we're all learning that it's funded by taxpayer money.
Yes.
These governments and foreigners are not paying their freight; they are being paid to be here
by you and me.
That makes it really difficult to digest. You see your community starting to fall apart, and you realize it's your own politicians that are funding it with your money.
With your money,
it's very disheartening.
My brother, I got to tell you,
but would be very heartening, and that would change all that is a good old Zozo Dude tour in the fall or spring.
I'm going to push myself to the latter part of the year. I'm going to go in like September. I think beginning of September is when I want to shove off, because I want to go down through the South, and at least I've gotten through July and August by then. I got to get into the parts of New Mexico and Texas and Alabama and Mississippi that I love. Florida. I got to get down in there.
Cool.
Before it gets too cold in the north, but while it's kind of cooled down in the south. So you'll probably see me late September if I make it. I'm going to look in. I got plenty of time. I'm going to look into a visa or whatever the hell I need to get across into Canada for a couple of days. So
I don't think you really need anything if you're just cruising and you're just a visitor. All you need is a passport. Yep.
Perfect.
And an alibi.
I have a couple of friends up in, all right, my man. I look forward to seeing you, Ronnie.
All right. I'll enjoy your shows, buddy. I know that, like I said, you're the hardest working guy in the Foxhole. I really enjoyed your Foxhole Squares last night, even though there was a little bit of technical.
Oh, boy, that was rough.
You guys always pull off a great show. And
thank you kindly.
We all appreciate your hard work on the Mystery Ship and everywhere else that you turn up. Keep up the great work, Zoe. We love you.
Thank you, my friend. Wonderful to have you aboard. Good to see you.
All right. Ciao for now, buddy.
Take care. Our dear brother Ron, our resident Canuck, fell in love with a little gal named Neo, and she ran away to marry him. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it just a wonderful thing? I would love to get up into Canada. Really. I have not I've been into Canada like twice, and it's embarrassing to say so. Both times were over by Buffalo, New York, when I went to Niagara Falls, and I crossed over into Canada and played at some of the casinos for a while. That's about my big experience into Canada. So yeah, I need to ride my bike through. I picture Canada as just being this, this tundra, this yeah, when he said there's tons of flat land and stuff up there, I'm like, wow, I need to go check this out. Seriously. Canada is it's on my list. It is definitely on my list. And meeting Ron, meeting Bruce, I would love to meet Bruce. Would be like literally on my way back home, coming out of British BC. That would be cool. That would be cool. All right. You know what? I may just seize the moment because I had started at quarter till. So I'm within 10 minutes of a 2-hour show. So maybe I'll just cool it right here. But let me look around the horn. Let me look around the horn for a minute. Wait, we've got another call. There's always time for another call. Welcome aboard the mystery ship, my friend. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, this is Starface.
Hey, what are you doing, my man?
How's it going?
Really good. Really good.
I was hoping I didn't catch you at the end of the show there.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're absolutely perfect. What is on your mind, man? What do you think about the stuff that is going on right now? Do you think it's we're just skimming the surface, or do you think there are teeth that are going to take this organization down?
Yeah, I think the progress is incredible, and a lot of us who have been awake for years now are just we've been chomping at the bit, and we're finally starting to get some sort of satisfaction. I think it's great. And,
dude, don't get me wrong. I'm tickled pink with the Doge thing and all the stuff that's being exposed. I love it. I want more of it, but show me. And I know it takes we gotta find the evidence that's been buried. We got to bring these people to court. They got to have their day in court, and then there'll be the appeals and the this and the that, and then but eventually, I want to see that clink of those bars rolling shut, and somebody. Oh man, yeah, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean, because we all know, and now with all the disclosures, we know that they've been doing this for years, and they've been, pretending to do something about whatever seems to be the trending thing, and they make this big concerted effort, and it takes months and months, and it's like. Trump just proved that you don't need to do. If you want something done, you can do it right now.
Yes.
You don't have to mess around. So it's kind of like the people are waking up. They're going, these people have been playing us for years, and now they want to get on board with Trump and like the Lindsey Graham crackers and all the other.
Oh, dude! When I think back over the years,
they've been schlepping it for so many years, and they finally, now they're all of a sudden on board. Where it was 2 years ago, they were rattling that saber, saying, "Yeah, let's go to war." And it's like you're the problem. You're the problem.
Amen.
And then with all the fake polls and then the fake media, now that everybody's waking up, it's kind of like, wow, cool. It's kind of hard not to say, "I told you so."
I mean,
it's really hard. I'm telling you.
I know. It certainly is. It certainly is interesting. And if there's any deliciosity to this, it is speaking with a handful of lefty friends, and I have friends on the left. I mean, we're still friends. It doesn't matter what your ideologies are. We can still be friends, but doesn't mean I don't lay in bed and wonder about you at night. No, I'm kidding.
Well, what I find amazing is that they just won't admit that they were wrong, and it's kind of like, well, when I'm wrong, I admit it. Yeah. I mean, and I've been wrong plenty of times, and sometimes it took me years to figure out that I was wrong, and it was
me
hard
too.
to admit it. But
Me too.
you know, it's like I did it, and it's like I didn't excommunicate anybody, or I didn't, you know, disown anybody or anything because of a personality. I mean, come on, that's it is. It's a sickness. It's a, you know, Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. I was fired for it. I lost a job. I lost a wife. I lost friends. I lost a lot of stuff. I'm a victim. So, but you know, it's okay because I'm not crazy. You know, I thought I was crazy there for a second, you know, but
you are
now
absolutely not
on
crazy.
board, and we're all, you know, we're all starting to, you know, see it for what it really is. And, you know, it's a great thing. The truth will set you free. Isn't it great?
It really is, man. It is that's a fact, Jack. It will set you free. I love truth. I hope to see a whole lot more of it. That's one of the things I enjoy about reading stuff at PJ Media, as these folks are dedicated to the truth, and good, bad, or ugly, they put it all out there.
Right.
So it's good. It's good, man. Dude, wonderful to speak with you. I'm gonna wrap this little show up and shuffle on off to Buffalo.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, you know, I'd like to come up visit. I got both my cars running good, so
nice.
Don't be surprised. You need to call me though, because I lost your regular cell phone number.
Okay, I'll text you. I'll text you my number. So hey, this is Zoe.
All right, so.
All right, buddy.
I'll talk to you.
Hey, good to talk to you, my friend. Thank you.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Love you, bro.
All right. Well, you know, I'm going to wrap this one right up here. This has been it's been an interesting little show. Wonderful lady, Athena Thorne, of course, not her real name, and not her real picture. So I like people who, you know, look at me. Here's my phones. These are my phones. And because I spend so much time on the phone, I don't know if you can see it, but can you see the green? Yeah, you can see the green electrical tape on the cameras of my phones, because I don't want them studying my face for facial recognition. I've always had tape on my phones. Always. For 10 years, I put tape on my phones. So I know I'm kidding myself. And plus, I put myself out there. You're looking at me. You know what I look like. And I've given out my address so many times on the air, it isn't funny. And my phone number. But yeah, if somebody really wants to find you, they're going to find you. That's just the way it is. There's so much information on the internet. One of the scariest things you'll ever do is Google yourself. Yeah, you'll just freak when you find out how much stuff about you is out there. All those pornos I did, somebody found them. I'm kidding. Completely kidding. All right. Before we go, I always like to take a moment and ask us to pray for our people who are in need. And there's a bunch of them. Our dear brother, Gary Flessner, God bless him. I saw him, first guy in the YouTube chat tonight. Good to see you, Gary. Always good to see you. I pray that Gary gets his strength back and can rebuild the animal that he once was, one day at a time, baby. One arm pump at a time. But if anyone has the tenacity to do it, it is my dear brother, Gary. Gary, we are with you and we are praying for you. We always will. Please keep our dear brother Gary in your prayers if you would. And help him out. Our dear, I hadn't thought about her in a while, but our dear sister Susan Danielle, she's got some challenges there back east. We haven't seen her in the chats a lot lately, but she does pop in from time to time. But between her daughter and a boyfriend who's just not really there for her. And also, the doctors have been looking at her with, they thought it was diabetes. They thought it was, just keep Susan Danielle in your prayers if you would. Okay. A really, really awesome lady. As sweet as apple pie. I've been to her beautiful, beautiful ranch in upstate New York. It's gorgeous. And she's got a lot of work to do up there with her horses, and woman works her ass off and gets no help. She's the woman against the world. So keep Susan Danielle in your prayers, if you would. I'd like to ask us to pray for the moms out there, okay? The moms, in particular, Val Kimber's mom, the Batman's mom, our friend Leah Worth, her mom. And, I'm going to throw her in there. I'm going to throw my mom in there. 89 years old, kind of really gave us a scare. Just pray for all the moms of the sailors. That's a prayer worth praying for. Moms are special. And, I am in no position to, I don't even want to think of what it would be like if my mom wasn't around right now. Pray for our moms, would you? Please do it. Do that for your brothers, though. Our dear sister Leah Worth is another lady who has got physical challenges that are really demanding. I just ask that we pray for her, that in some small way, her burden would be lessened in some way. I think of our sister Laura Dora, who tripped over a dog and broke her leg. She broke her leg. Folks, breaking your leg when she's nowhere near as old as I am, but, she'd probably be the first to tell you she's not a teenager anymore. And stuff takes time to heal. And healing right and all that, you got to have the right doctor. You got to have all the stars need to line up. Please pray for Laura Dora, if you would. A wonderful, long time sailor. She's got mugs aplenty back there. She's got Mambo mugs, and I love it, and I love her for it. Those are the immediate. Oh, absolutely, Dave and Cherie Maddox. We will always pray for Dave and Cherie Maddox, that they continue their fight with Dave's cancer. That Dave is an overcomer. Just that God will bless them. God will bless them is my prayer. All right, I'm going to get out of here, but not before I thank the wonderful people who donated to this show this evening, and there's no shortage of them. Look at them over here in at the home of free speech down in the foxhole. Due diligence. Hey, my man, how is it going? He dropped a few in there. Sean Joe, thank you, my friend. Wonderful to see your support as always. LT 57FSH, thank you, my brother, honestly. And Girl Patriot, great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Let me allow me to release the Kraken. I've released the scratching, folks. Go and get yourself some gold pills. Scratch that itch. Get yourself some gold pills, and let me know what it feels like. Bro Dude, one for the road. Thank you, my friend. Thank you kindly. Good to see you. Good to see you over here in Lemon Land. These are an amazing group of sailors. There's no shortage of them. They got me up over 10,000 lemons tonight. I'm going to put a dent in it and take me back down to 9 something, because I'm going to reward their love. Yes, I don't mind putting a dent in it. I don't mind putting a dent in my forward motion when I've got these kind of wonderful people behind me. All right, so there it is. I've loaded up the treasure chest, and here it comes, baby. Here it comes. Lemons coming your way. All right. Those of you who took the time to go and check out PJ Media, especially those of you like Cosmac who subscribed, you won't be sorry. Great stuff. Comes to your door. And like Athena suggested, there's a major discount going on if you sign up for a year. So go and get you some PJ Media. Tell them Zoe sent you. All right. Over here, look at this. Luckiest followers. Bad Zoot, baby. Look at that. Bad Zoot. Thank you kindly, Cosmic Grandpa. Good to see you on top of the heap, man. Been a minute. Jayla, good to have you on the list. Dandy002, good to have you here. Willie, fix it. Willie's been sneaking in there lately, hasn't he? He's been sneaking, peeping, hiding, creeping. There he is. Willie's on his way to Florida. Did you know that? Willie's going to go for a wild Florida, a boys' weekend. That's what they're calling it. Willie's Lost Weekend. I think that's what I told him, to make sure he shoots some videos so we can set it to music. And yeah, maybe we'll play it on the air. Willie's Lost Weekend. It's going to be fun. All right, folks, I'm sneaking on out of here. I got a few things to do before I go to bed. This room right now, absolutely. Whoop. What are you doing, Zoe? I got to go box some stuff up. I got to get out the seal of meal, and I'm sitting here in this room, and it just stinks. It just stinks in here. God, I got to get that in the mail. Wow. All right. I'm boogieing on out of here, people. Have yourselves a wonderful week ahead. Know that your brother Zoe is on your side. And thank you to all the people who supported this show in one way or another. You always, always blow my mind. I love y'all. We'll see you around the bend, people. Around the bend. Where is it? That's what I'm trying to go for, right? There we go. Finally. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's going to be a long week, people. Going to be a long week. I'll see you down the road. Right now. Hey, it looks like Val Kimber is going live immediately following my program. If you're not ready to shut her down and go to bed, head on over to DLive, dlive.tv/Val, VAL _Kimber, KIMBER, a purveyor of fine musical. Tell him so,